So the book that I chose that I love, well, first of all, it was very hard for me to pick one book that I love as a teacher because I have a whole bin of, actually, I have 3 or 4 bins of mentor texts that I just have to make sure that my children, my students, listen or hear throughout the year. But one that really stood out to me just in the beginning of the year as I'm getting things started was the book Shortcuts by Donald Cruz. This is a book about children that are taking a shortcut home and they're walking along the railroad tracks, and you can see that. And as they're walking and having fun and taking this shortcut, they all of a sudden hear the train on the railroad tracks. And the book really builds some amazing suspense, and especially for first grade, which is what I teach. And you see the children, you see in the pictures, you hear in the words how frightened the children are and how they don't know what to expect. So they jump off of the railroad tracks into ditches where there's snakes and other things that they just don't care about. And then the greatest part is as you're reading, so I'll even take you to the part that really builds the suspense. So in this part, you can say, woo woo, it says we jumped off the tracks onto the steep slope. We didn't think about the bears or the snakes. And then page after page is just the train. So it's building this suspense, this thrill for students that they don't know what's happening. And it's the trains and it's the sounds. And it keeps going for a couple pages. Until finally in the end, the train passed and the students were fine, and it talks about how they'll never take the shortcut again. So the reason that I love this book and that I would use it in every K2 classroom, maybe even 3-5, is because it is such a good mentor text for both reading it as a reader and listening to that suspense and really getting into it and feeling as if you are one of the characters and that you're in that setting, but also reading it as a writer and paying attention to the craft and how the author, when they wrote this story, put the train sounds in all caps at the top, and how when the children are panicking, it's all capital letters, and you read that a certain way, and when you read things a certain way, you feel a certain way, just as if you were there. So it really becomes that mentor text for kids that I think is really powerful. And it helps them not only as readers with things like fluency and expression and understanding a type of book like thrill and suspense, but it really helps them understand it as writers and how to write this way. And so this is a book I would highly recommend. Um, all kids will enjoy it. They'll all think about, oh my gosh, what would I do if I was stuck on a train track and trains were coming? What would I do? And so I really recommend it, and I just love this book, and all my students love it as well. So it's a really good one. I recommend it. Shortcuts, Donald Crew.